Isn't it so frustrating when you go to your doctor because you have pain or some weird symptoms and they do all the tests and then they come back to you and they say the 4 words that make you want to burn the whole place down? Everything came back normal. Now, these tests are not wrong. Everything did come back normal, but the pain and the symptoms you're experiencing are real, but your doctor's kind of shrugging and they have no real action plan to help you get rid of these symptoms. And in the worst cases, sometimes they tell you that it's permanent and you just have to deal with it for the rest of your life. Good luck. Now, what nobody's telling you in that appointment is that they were looking in the wrong place. Now, obviously, if there's something wrong with your body, you go to the doctor, you do the tests, you figure out what the issue is, you treat it. But you've done that. And doctors are not necessarily trained in psychology and emotional health. So the reality is that your symptoms are a result of repressed emotions from trauma. And if you landed on this video, you had to type out, can emotional abuse cause physical pain? So before we continue, just quick disclaimer, this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. I am a coach. I am here to talk about the mind-body connection and what I know to be true about it. If you're under a doctor's care for some sort of condition or health issue, continue. I am not telling you to stop all treatments. I am just telling you about the mind-body connection. And so can emotional abuse cause physical pain? Short answer, yes. Long answer, grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable. We're gonna go on a little ride. Hey there, I'm Coach Adriana. Welcome to my channel. If you're a survivor of narcissistic abuse, hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss the content I'll be posting on this channel. I talk all things narcissistic abuse recovery, nervous system regulation, all that fun stuff. And I talk about what most narcissistic abuse recovery experts never mention, which is the mind-body connection and how your physical body is giving you information based on the abuse you went through. Nobody talks about what narcissistic abuse does to your body. The physical chronic pain, the weird symptoms, the exhaustion that sleep doesn't seem to fix. And we're all raised on the idea that if you have pain, it means there's some sort of physical damage. You go to the doctor, you fix it, you shouldn't have pain anymore. But if you're here, chances are you've gone to the doctor for months, maybe even years, and nothing seems to be fixing the pain. The pain is very real. It's not all in your head, but the source of your pain comes from your brain. And pain is a danger signal. If you have your hand on a hot stove, you're gonna feel pain, and obviously the message is take your hand off of the hot stove before more of your skin melts off. But your brain can trigger the alarm of danger even when there's no physical threat present. And if you've stumbled upon this video, the threat is your repressed emotions from the trauma of being narcissistically or emotionally abused. If you've dealt with a narcissist and they keep abusing you, your nervous system has a threat setting. So the stress hits and you flood with cortisol and adrenaline and stress hormones. Your heart rate goes up, your muscles tighten, digestion shuts down, and you're ready to go in fight or flight. But your nervous system doesn't know the difference between an actual threat like a lion chasing you for dinner versus the narcissist's name popping up on your phone. So a body that's held in threat for a long time, and especially if, like me, you were raised by narcissistic parents, that's your whole lifetime, that threat never ends. The switch never flips. And your body is in fight or flight mode all the time. When your nervous system is stuck in high alert, it starts firing pain over something that's not supposed to physically cause you pain. And you didn't get chronic pain instead of dealing with abuse, you got chronic pain because of the abuse. Because your body was dealing with it the only way it knew how. The only way it was allowed to, silently, and for as long as it took. And if you were raised by a narcissistic parent, I'm going to give you a little crash course on how the child brain thinks and why you end up with pain. You have a narcissistic mother, you're crying about something as children do, and then your narcissistic mother tells you, I'll give you something to cry about, you're so stupid, big girls don't cry, you're so ugly when you cry, you're being dramatic, if you keep crying, this thing that you like is going to be taken away, whatever. And that creates a message in your brain that is something along the lines of, this emotion is pissing my mother off. If I piss my mother off, she's not going to love me anymore. If she doesn't love me anymore, I'm going to die. So your brain creates this unconscious belief that if you show an emotion, you are going to die. But that's not the truth. But good luck getting your nervous system to believe that. If you try to start processing your emotions right now, you're probably going to not be having a good time, and those alarm bells are going to go off and you're going to feel worse. And I know a few of you are going, okay, Adriana, this sounds cool, but is it real or is it just vibes? So I'm going to tell you about the late Dr. John Sarno. He is my hero. His work literally saved my life. He was an actual doctor, and he noticed in his practice that there were people with back pain with varying levels of herniations in their discs, and there was no rhyme or reason. Some people would have a perfectly aligned back, some people would have a hunchback with all these discs all over the place, and they didn't have as much pain. It just made no sense. But then he realized about the mind-body connection, that it was connected to repressed emotions from childhood trauma. So give it a lifetime of repressing your emotions, it becomes physical. I thought this was nonsense at first, but if you go back to like my very first video 7 years ago, good luck finding it. It's somewhere in the archives here. But if you go back there, this is how I got started off here. Physical chronic pain. I had TMJ dysfunction, carpal tunnel, migraines. I got shingles in my mouth when I turned 30. I know, insane. And then I ended up with something called trigeminal neuralgia, which is nicknamed the disease because that's how painful it is. It was just a whole thing. And so what's really cool about what I do with my clients is they've obviously been through narcissistic abuse, and the tools that I give to help you heal from narcissistic abuse are also the same tools that help you get your body and your nervous system out of fight or flight. And not only do you heal from the abuse, you also start noticing your body feels a lot better. Because it's really about understanding how the narcissist's manipulation tactics and the emotional abuse they inflict onto you, because they literally use your emotions against you. Your emotions are weapons. They want you in a state of guilt, shame, or fear. They don't want you to process those emotions. And anyone in those emotional states is easier to control. So of course, they're going to shame you anytime you try to express an emotion, which is the healthy thing to do. And they're going to tell you, oh, you're dramatic, you're overreacting, whatever. And then because you've had this conditioning growing up that it's not okay to show an emotion, now that really reinforces that, and you try your hardest to repress those emotions. And then that becomes physical pain. It has to come out somehow, right? It becomes a pressure cooker inside of your body. A lot of narcissistic abuse content out there is great, but they stop at education. Here's what a narcissist is. This is the cycle of abuse. Congratulations, you can name it now, cool. But you can name it and still feel like absolute garbage because guess what? You still have repressed emotions. Knowing something is not the same thing as healing from something. You didn't get sick from a lack of information. You're in pain and you're sick because the trauma is living in your body. It has not been validated or processed by you, and that's what the work is all about. Naming your mother's personality disorder does not cure you, and it doesn't regulate your nervous system the same way that like reading a menu doesn't solve being hungry. And this is exactly why I built the thing I'm about to tell you about. It's called Let's Get Your Shift Together. Same name as this channel because it's the same mission in your pocket. It's a brand new app I just came out with, and it kind of does the thing I spent most of this video explaining. It works on your nervous system first. It guides you through emotional regulation, processing, and then rebuilding from there. Because that's the order that actually works, not just education. Don't bother looking inwards at your emotions and hope for the best. And that's what worked for me. I knew my mother was a narcissist for the longest time before I knew what the inner work was. And my physical pain only got worse over the years. So my app doesn't just dump Narcissism 101 onto you. It meets you exactly where you are, whether you're brand new to healing or already 2 years no contact. There's an assessment quiz that you fill out before you get started, and it maps out a healing plan just for you. Once you sign up, you get 1 new exercise per day. It's not overwhelming. It takes about 5 minutes a day, which I'm sure you can squeeze that into your day. You don't have to do anything fancy. It's just all on your phone. And the coolest thing is there's an AI coach in there as well that you can chat with. It's trained on my frameworks and my coaching style. Everything I've perfected over the last 7 years is inside this app. It'll even help you decode a confusing text message from the narcissist in your life. You can literally send it a screenshot. It'll help you spot the gaslighting and help you get grounded before you dive deeper. And you get to choose if you want to dive deeper. And it's always available 24/7 in your pocket. If this video made you think, oh wow, this is me, this makes so much sense, my new app is where you want to go. The link is in the pinned comment underneath this video. And if you sign up before August 7th, 2026, you get a 20% discount. So you don't want to miss out on that. And don't worry, I'm still going to be offering one-on-one coaching as well because you can't replace the human connection. This app is AI, but it's efficient, it's trained in me, and it's a more affordable option for getting access to my brain rather than joining one of my programs or one-on-one coaching, which are also an option. I'll put the link for everything as well in the pinned comment under this video. But if you really want to take a baby step, I do have a free masterclass on how to stop gaslighting yourself after narcissistic abuse, and I do talk about the mind-body connection in that as well. The link is there too. And I hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel where I'll be sharing even more stuff about the mind-body connection and narcissistic abuse and how the two relate. And before I end this, I just want to remind you, your body is not broken. Your body is not betraying you. Your body kept the score because it had to. It had to do what it had to do in order for you to survive. The fact that you are here, you are alive, you are watching this video, you're a living, breathing human, is already proof that you have survived the unsurvivable. You've made it this far. You've survived the trauma. You can absolutely survive the healing, whatever that looks like for you. And now that you finally know what your body's been trying to tell you, maybe you've planted the seeds where you can finally have a healthy relationship with your body and start understanding yourself and your symptoms and how they relate to being narcissistically abused. That's all for today. I hope this video was helpful. See you next time.